Vayakhel-Pekudei. This is R Shlomo Cweiber Shlit. That's so let's function on with the Yasas Akir Nachoshes, Eis Akir Nachoshes, Eis Kanok Nachoshes, the Maras Hatzavas Asher Tzavu Pesach Al Moed. So this is okay. There's a kiyur and made out from the choshes. Zok the Heilige Rashi. B'maras hatzavas. So they made them with spiegelim, whatever the mirrors. B'nos Yisrael hoye b'yodan maras shiros behen keshehin miskashtas. So they had mirrors. B'nos Yisrael sounds like it was like prevalent, like everybody had mirrors in Mitzrayim. And the Chiddush was that the Torah is telling you that the Pshas that even those mirrors which somehow were quite dear to B'nos Yisrael, the Nashim said Konias B'schusen with the Negol of Mitzrayim, so the Pshas ain't Achadami, that's even that they gave to the Mishkan. V'hoya Mois Moshe behen b'pnei shasuyim l'yetzer hara. Moshe Rabbeinu did not want to be Mekabel the Maras Tzavos because they were made for the Yetzer Hara. Why? What happened over there? Amar lo Kadosh Baruch Hu Kabel, but the Rebbeinu Shalom says no, you got to take it. This is like the Einzig Gezach that the Rebbeinu Shalom they wanted was Nidvis a Mishkan, and there's a tzivui.
Why is that for the Yetzer Hara? The jewelry that they brought, that we say that they brought, that was a glick.
Yeah.
That's not for the Yetzer Hara, the mirrors are for the Yetzer Hara.
Okay, well let's see what they did with the mirrors. That's what Rashi's going to not finish with it. Outside of mid in the Rashi. Ki helu hachavivim alai min hakol. The Rebbeinu Shalom says, these Maras Hatzavas are more dear to me than all the Nedavas. It's purely ployim. Shal Yedeim Hamido Hanoshim Tzivos Rabbos b'Mitzrayim. Why are they called Maras Hatzavos? What Hatzavos means? Maras Hatzavos. Maras is the mirrors, and then what's Hatzavos? Zok Rashi, Shal Yedeim Hamido Hanoshim Tzivos Rabbos b'Mitzrayim. Right? It's mamash purely plain. Through these mirrors, there were the tzivos rabbos of Klal Yisrael Mitzrayim. Kishahayu baleim yegayim and mevodas aperech, and when their husbands were oskemated, oskemutchud from avodas perech, hayahalchis malichas lehem meichol amishter meichilas asam. So different medrashim that they had fish, little fish came into the buckets, and they used to feed them the fish. Also, the notlas hamaras, and Rashi's bringing that. So they took the mirrors. The kol achas roa atzma im bailo b'mara, and they used to put they could see each other in the mirrors. Mishtad losa b'dvarim lo marani noa mimecha. Pili play Rashi. What is this? And this is more dear to the Rebbeinu Shalom than everything. And therefore, because of that, that's why they had children. I think one of the Gerses I saw was Miyad. Take it from Miyad. There were Misabras and Yoldis. Shenemer Tachas HaTapuach HaRaticha. V'zeh Shenemer B'maras HaTzavas. So Rashi is for teaching Nachum the Maras Hatzavas, because from these Maras came Sivas of Klal Yisrael in Mitzrayim, which are Mamash Apella, and that the Rebbeinu Shalom says is more dear to me than all the Nedavas. It's Pili Ployim. It's Mamash Pili Ployim. Now you can know another connection, Nashim B'schus Nashim Tzidkoni Zatzis Mitzrayim, because the Pshas when you had that Tzura from the Shishi Ribo, you had that Tzura from Knesset Yisrael was ready to, in the formation, as we've gone through many times. So the Pshas Mamela, the Pshas, that was the Zman of Geula. That was the every step of Geula is like that. Menasa Kir Mehem. So because the fragrance. So why does that have to be the Kir? You can take the Maros Hatzavos and make whatever you make from them. I don't know. The other things from Nechoshes. There's not the only the Kiyur and the Kana were not the only things from Nechoshes. There were other things from Nechoshes.
Why is it limited to Nechoshes? Because the Aaron with the. Why is it limited to Nechoshes?
No, because if the Aaron is
the mirrors are made out of Nechoshes.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what they were shiny. They were shiny because they were. I think the Ben Bechaib says they were the ban also. They were smooth. They were specially made in a way that they were mamash shiny like anything. And why do you make the kana the kino and the kana? So this is like a midah. This is the midah. Just like those maros hatzavos, they were for shalom bein ish leishto, and there were tzivus rabbis from Klal Yisrael, from in Mitzrayim. So too, so that's why you use a midah kedeged midah for the from the kir came the may south that's the brings shalom between ish leishto. When it's makana, they have sveikus and this and mevaret. The hashkes mimayim shebesachal lamisha kina lo bailo v'nistra. Mashapella. The tail l'chol shehei maris mamish. So Rashi, the director kasha was so why call maris just say nechoshes? What do you have to say maris tzavos? Even though even Rambam to that, but vice nechos, there was something here that the tail l'chol shehei maris mamish.
It's a very optimistic way of looking at Seitu.
Yeah,
I'm saying it could go for a carrot also, right?
Yeah, but
it could go for a carrot also.
Either way,
if you're giving mayim to, they're in a fight, right? He was mekana and sushli, so either it will be mevar that she was tar or shalom fakir.
She's not drinking it if she's not.
I know, but no, of course she'll drink it, but that's not the issue.
She's not. She knows what happens. She's not drinking it.
So then she'll be murdered or whatever. She could be murdered and get out of it.
It's easier to be murdered.
Okay. We have the on-site reporter. You understand that this is all right. But no, but you make it like it's a 50-50 thing, like it's like, and it's up in the air and it can go either way and stuff like that. Like Baruch Hashem, there was a rare occurrence, and when there were more people that were nechshad than were actually chas v'shalom nikshal. You understand? So this was a heichatims of you see how gadol shalom, like what you're saying is good because this is the heichatim. Like how many times did it happen already? How many times did it happen? And this and afal pikein, this is mamish the midah kedeged midah. This is like this is the equal to the havos shalom that it was in Mitzrayim. That mamish nifla. So Rashi says here now the diktazach is these nedavas were nedavas of mirrors. The mirrors they were not raw material. It wasn't like a person gave nechoshes and they made the shpiegelach from them. They made the actual shpiegelach that the ladies had, the Noshim Sikonias had. They took it. And this was not part of the cheshbon of in Pekudei. You're going to see it goes through the cheshbon of how much nechoshes, and then you're going to go look over there, and it's going to say and such and such amount of nechoshes was this nadvu and v'hem and it went for this and this and that, and it went for different things, and it doesn't mention the kiyur bekano. So if Shes Weiss the kiyur bekano was different because over here there was a. They used just the mirrors mamish. They took the mirrors mamish and they made it in the kir and the kana from it, which is a pliyadik izach. There's a whole tshuva sam sofer and archayim tshuva membeis on this. Like also did they break it down? They didn't break it down. They matich it. They smash it and they make it into But Rashi said they made the mirrors. That was a beautiful thing. V'yasbo. The kir v'kana lo huskru sham. Yeah. So when it talks about over there in Parshas Vayakhel, so it's like so over there it doesn't mention anything about the kir and the kana. Lemedish lo hoya nechoshes shakir menechoshes atnufa. And therefore from here we see clear that was not part of the nechoshes atnufa. That's the lashon over there. Kach Darish Rabbi Tanchum. Okay, so that's he says v'kein targum onkelis v'mechasi on Nashayev who targets Marus mirrors balaz Spiegel mirrors balaz. No French it says mirrors. So I go. Kein basin b'Yishayo he says v'agoyonim ha'mitargminim echaziso. So this is a niflitik gezach. This is pili ploim. From this Rashi, I wanted to bring a raya to Matim, like something I played the Gemara, I think, in Sanhedrin, Kuf Yod Amud Aleph. I think so. There's like 3 memories over here in the Gemara. Okay, here we go again, huh? All right. Okay. Okay, yeah. Steht in Pasuk, Vayishma Moshe v'yipol al panav. Okay. So over there by Kerach v'yishma Moshe v'yipol al panav. Ma Shmuah Shama. So what Shmuah did Moshe Rabbeinu hear that caused them to have an afilas upon him over there? V'yipol al panav. Amar Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmeni Amar Rabbi Yonasan shechashdu me'eshes ish. Completely gezach. I mean, who are we talking about here? We're talking about, we're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. Shechashdu al eshes ish. I mean, that's like a mamash to me. Really different. Shenamar v'yikando l'Moshe b'machane. Amar b'Shmuel bar Yitzchak. That was okay. So that was Reb Shmuel bar Nachmeni Amar Rabbi Yonasan. Here's Reb Shmuel bar Yitzchak. Malambet shekol echad v'echad kinos ishto m'Moshe. Each one. I thought there were a lot of people that there were kinos ishto m'Moshe. Shenamar v'Moshe yikach esa'oh v'noto lo mechutz l'machane. That's mamash apel. Mamash yishka. That's yeah. So that's in where am I? Yeah. Back in Kisiso. Yeah. Moshe yikach esa'oh v'noto lo mechutz l'machane. So this is after the ego. He comes down. V'yomer Shem el Moshe Amor b'nei Yisrael atem am k'shei eref rega echad aylu v'kirbecha v'chidasicha v'yato hared et edgecha me'alecha v'edo ma es eloch. V'yisnatzu b'nei Yisrael es edge mehar charev. Moshe yikach esa'oh v'noto lo mechutz l'machane. So Moshe took as a result, as a response to this ego azov, and when the fiasco over here. So this is what they did. He took his ohel. V'nato lo michutz l'machna harchek min ha'machna v'kara lo moed v'hoya kol mevakesh Hashem yitzei al moed asher michutz l'machna. So that's what he's saying. He says kol echad. So now we're darshaning. Rabbi Yonasan is chashduhu. Reb Shmuel bar Nachmeni Amar Rabbi Yonasan shechashdu be'eshes ish never v'kanu l'Moshe b'machne. Amar Reb Shmuel bar Yitzchak malamet shekol echad kinos ishtav v'Moshe shnever Moshe yikach esa'oh v'noto lo michutz l'machne. So according to this drasha, this was a response. Yikach esa'oh, he took the response because since they were choshed for eshes ish and they were kinos ishtav with Reb Shasa Mamela, he went and he took his tent and he went to Mamash Chutz l'machne because of that. Pili niflo. V'yakam Moshe v'yelech el dosim v'avir Amar l'mekansha. Okay, forget it. That's the next memory, but 2 memories here. 2 memories that were choshen Moshe for eshes ish and they were mekanda. They made kin and steer on the wives, and Mamela that's why v'yikach esa'oh and he went chutz. And you'll see we all know there's the 3 drushes in the Gemara, 3 different Gemaras why v'yikach esa'oh. that the Pashtus, he took his oil and not like he was a response. It was he was the Ramban, the Rashi told us before. It's Manul the Rav is Manul the Talmud is Ein Zach, and but in the Gemara there's a Gemara in Brachos and there's a Gemara in Shabbos and a Gemara in Sanhedrin. So the Gemara in Sanhedrin learns, which go in order. The Gemara in Brachos says that from here it's talking about the godless of going. You have to go after the Torah. There's a shvach of a person that goes after to learn Torah. He puts himself out and goes distances to go learn Torah. That was the raya from Vayikach. This is the whole Shal Torah. Adam ki yomas bo'ol. That's been kind of the person that has to be memus is asma on the whole Torah. So that's the Gemara in Brachos, and about that it was a meal. It was Yud Bey. It was a meal away. It was out on the outskirts of the Machane. So immediately you had it. If you wanted to be a Vakesh Hashem, you wanted to go learn Torah, you wanted to go so you had to go and walk. So it's Kol Shekain, people who go all over. Gemara says Kol Shekain. Fine, okay, that's one drasha. So that's okay. Then you have Shabbos. Is when it says in the pasuk before v'yisnatzu b'nei Yisrael edja mehar charev. So the Gemara darshans over there in Shabbos and Peiches the Pshas and Moshe Rabbeinu took him and Moshe Rabbeinu took him. He was self to give it back to Klal Yisrael. So from here Vayikach, that's also from the drasha from Yikach. That's O. He took the O. Is a lashon behilo neiru. Neira Lai Roshi. The pshat is that there was the Bashankta Zach, the Bashankta Zach, whatever it is, it's a lashon of a hilo. So all right, good. And then you have the third Rasha, which is the first two of Mamash Gur, like this is Torah and the Edgem, which is very close. Then you have this rush over here. The Pshas of Makana Moshe, Mamish Kina Mamish. And he took us all, and he went on to the sofa of the Machna because they were Makina Yisishta. So where does that come from? I told you we're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu here. Like it's a pella, it's Mamish a pella. It's a Mizoktis. All right. But this is Moshe. Rabbeinu Moshe. It's what does that mean? How did that happen? So I think with our Rashi.
When you talk about the depravity of the people, you talk about Moshe Rabbeinu.
I am talking about on all levels. I'm talking about the God. We're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu, who's
that someone who's so depraved could think something bad about him.
You're talking about the Dor Midbar. You're not talking about
the Dor Deya.
Dor Midbar. But what are we talking about, Moshe Rabbeinu? Let's not mention Moshe Rabbeinu. Let's talk about that
on all sides.
On all sides. On the God side, Echad, the godless of Moshe Rabbeinu. The zweite side, the side Sheni is the godless of the Dor Deya, where they just witnessed. The nifla, the hashgacha shein, like nobody ever witnessed in their lives, and they saw Mamush the Yada, they saw and the Kabbalah Satara, they saw them. The Rebbeinu was talking to we saw the Rebbeinu talking to Moshe Rabbeinu. It's unbelievable. It's purely plain.
How long after that was B'nai Moav?
It was right after the Egel. You have to go to B'nai Moav. It's right after the Egel.
This is before.
Right before.
Not right before. I said it's before. This is before, but it's not.
And his point is before.
Not B'nai Moav, whatever. Right before Egel, yeah.
Okay, so this was right after the Egel. Right here is now we have right after the Egel. So, but obviously before that, or a little bit, or right after. I don't know. Huh? Something happened here. There had to be some kind of inspiration. It's a bad word, but it means like there's some kind of a service that we're in the world to think that way. Where did it come from? So according to the way Rashi we just read, I think it's Nefla de Gezach. That from this pasuk, Moshe Yikach. 1 second, we'll go back to our over here. Yeah, what were these Maras Hatzavas? What did they do with them? We just said they were used. These were instruments to be over the cheshik, the Avodah Zarah, to misdavik with their husbands. So who is manad of these things? So the Ramban says, like the Ramban, the Farshim asks this kasha. What does it mean? V'yaseh sekir nechoshes veizkana nechoshes maras hatzavos. So maras with the shpiegelach that caused the tzivos rabbos of Bnei Yisrael. Asher tzovu pesach ol moed. First of all, there's no ol moed right now. Ol moed is in Nisan. This is not ol moed. This is right after Yom Kippur. They started with the nidvus ha-mishkan. He came down. Moshe Rabbeinu came down with Yom Kippur. Came down with the luchos shniyos. So and all of a sudden, so what does it mean? They brought maras hatzavos. They had biyas with the maras hatzavos. Asher tzavu pesach moed. What is tzavu? What is that? They were tzavu pesach ol moed. What did they do? Well, there was no ol moed over here. What ol moed are we talking about? So the Ramban addresses this issue here. I'll use this first. The Ramban time is that this ol moed was ol Moshe. It was ol Moshe. So ol Moshe. So now we're coming. They took these again. They took the shpiegelach, and they went out to ol Moshe to give to Moshe Rabbeinu this nadava. The nadava which they had used to ma'or their husbands. Oh, so that's why they were choshed. The pshat is what? You look perplexed.
No, I just wonder, when is the pasuk of Moshe Yigach as a oil? When did that happen?
So okay, so that's what we're going to get a machlokas Ramban and Rashi in that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, what?
I understand the explanation. More of the explanation.
That's in
but going back to what you told Beryl, right? You're talking about the Dara Midbar.
Yeah.
So the Dara Midbar, so his wife went with a spiegel to Moshe's house, so he's choshed that
and gave it over to him, and what? So that's that's. It's a little bit. There is some kind of Indian over here.
It was a spiegel.
Well, it was whatever. I'm just saying, like when they used, and Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want to take it because this is like it's a Yetzer Hara thing. Whatever, you got to put it all together. This is a Yetzer Hara zak. They used it to be married the Yetzer Hara, which is can gross it. Isn't
that the idea? Every person's supposed to be using all. Is supposed to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'shnei Yitzharav.
Yes.
So good. So they went over here. They made a Yetzer Hara. They did a gewaltig stuff. The guy went and took his Yetzer Hara and did it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what's the thing?
No. So the tool, the method.
Why is the tool bad? The
tool's not bad.
They used the tool right. If they would have done it to Yana's husband,
so they used the tool right, but it was a tool self that to nutz the karch, like you just said, shnei yitzrecho, to nutz the karch of the Yetzer Hara in order to go and produce sivas rabbis of Klal Yisrael. You're right, 100%. It's beautiful.
Why is that the Yetzer Hara?
What?
That's the Yetzer type.
No, listen, you're a big tzaddik. Not everybody's so big. They don't look the other way, you know what I mean?
All right. But I hear these are valid questions, very good questions, and I have even more questions.
Moshe Rabbeinu was separated from his wife now?
Yeah.
He said it's a gal.
Yeah. So Amar lo Kadosh Baruch Hu Eilu Chavivim Min HaKol. And not only are these just the hekatimsa and this, the pshat, this is the pshat is this is the dearest thing. The Rebbeinu Shalom is mamash chavivim min hakol. This is mamash chavivim min hakol. It's not stam. So we have to understand that this is like something that's the unbelievable mesiras nefesh of these people at the time. Of the nashim sitkonius and anoshim tzadikim. at the time to produce and this and do in a matzah and mamash the lager, and they were mamash in due to tachton of Gehenna and the psharas and but so this is what happened here. It had to be matimit like in a certain way that it was like so whatever. I don't. All valid questions to see exactly why is that Yetzer Tov. It should be Yetzer Tov, not Yetzer Hara. Good, but just explain what's state. That's all. Right now, right now this is what we're dealing with. This is a tool of Yetzer Hara, and Moshe Ben Ahavim not to mekabel it, and the pshat is so then Ben Minamayim Shabol the Isha Shekina Lo Avaya V'Nistra. So Mamela, and that was the Mida Keneged. That's why we used. That's what Rashi said. That's why they used it for the Kino of an Akano. The Kino, why? Because the Kino was used to make shalom when people were master when the Kino and the Ishto. Oh, this is a tool. This is a Kino Ishto Mida Keneged Mida. So Mamela, you want to know why Moshe Rabbeinu? Because they went out. Because it's at the end of the pasuk says they went out and they gave it to Moshe Rabbeinu these things. Asher Tzavu Pesach Ol Moed. What kind of Ol Moed? There's no Ol Moed right now. There's no Ol Moed. So the state in Parshas Kisi. So that pasuk V'yikach es Moshe yikach es ov v'nalto lo b'chutz l'machana harchek min ha'machana v'kara lo Ol Moed. Moshe Rabbeinu called his ohel Ol Moed. When he brought it outside of the Machne. So this is Moed. They brought the Nashim Sukkani has brought the Shpiegelach to the Moed to Moshe. They use the things which, and this is the Mida Keneged with the Kinas Ishto, that this, and that's why I used it to the for the Kiyah. And the B'shazim and Melid, you want to know why they were Mekana Ishto, Kol Echod B'Echod is Mekana Ishto for giving over there. I saw one of the Rishonim also said the B'shaz is that you're talking that they had tinus that when I told you give to the Egel, you didn't want to give. You didn't give yourself and stuff. That this when Moshe Rabbeinu tells you come bring give Menadav, your Menadav is finished. That's whatever it is. Okay, so that's I think right now that's not the issue right now. But I just want to tell you, I just want to plant into you the Mida Keneged Mida, the also Indian that we're talking about is V'shadas Nifladik. Is it explained 100%? No, all right, you're right, because we're talking about Dordei, we're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu, but they state. I mean, that's that we can deal with what we can try to understand a little bit matim what's going on over here, and this does it. This is very nice. So the Ramban says, but I just thought that's something that's interessant to say. The Maras Hatzavos, but now you saw how you be Yod and Maras. The Ben Bechaya says the Eben Ezra. They're all talking along these lines over here. The Pshat is a bit, but you'll hear Zach whatever. But now you saw how you be Yod and Maras Shiraz Behen Kashen Miskash. He's bringing down Rashi, fine, and good. Rashi. V'atam bemedrash zeh shebechol melechas hamishkan kiblu hatakshitim min anoshim. So this was there was equal. Everybody gave to the mishkan whatever they want. Menadiv. K'neksiv the noshim v'anoshim v'yavo hanoshim al noshim v'yaviu choch v'nezem v'tabas v'kumas. And they brought all kinds of takshitim that they had. V'kumas v'pia medrasho. So the Gemara says, we know in Shabbos, what's the kumas? The kumas was for Ozamakum to block it off. Yoser nimus. So for Dr. Ramban, that this kumas was Yoser nimus than the Shpiegelach. The Shpiegelach he didn't want to take, but we didn't see there was no piskin ped. He didn't say anything about the kumas that they wanted to give. Avosham this arva kol anadavos. So Dr. Ramban Yesod over here. Those things when he brought the kumas, like when I said before, was the b'shadas that the maras hatzavas they kept it in as maras hatzavas, they kept it as is, and they made the kinnor out of it. By the kumas, the Zokter Ban is the b'shadas they took the kumas with everything else and they melted it down or matich it, whatever, and they made stuff from it. So it's not nicker the kumas. Gemara says in Shabbos over there, whatever it's called, Khan Makom Zima, that's so. The man's asking a sensitive question over here. So that's more nimbus than that. So why was no pickbook on that? He says because Avol Sham this Arva Kol Hanadova. That was the kumas was with all other kinds of whatever material was made from. So Mamela B'Shas said then there was no problem. But to use make a kli in the Beis Hamikdash, this kli is miyuchad for Yetzer Hara. That's what it's for. Lo haya Moshe bocher bekach. Ad shenemer lo came mipi agvura. They had that tzivoy from the Rebbeinu Shalom, but Moshe Rabbeinu ad k'rei kach that the Pshar said this, and he didn't want to mekabel until the Rebbeinu Shalom says kabel. You got to take it. V'lo yidati eich yisparish lefi zeh asher tzovu pesach ha'omoed. So, this is kasha. So, what in the world is talking about this pasuk? The asher tzovu. Let's say they collected, pesach ha'omoed. What kind of omoed there was? Ula yama sheviu hanoshim hanadava ahi al Moshe shekara omoed. So Zakter Rabban, and this I'm telling you, they brought it to Moshe. Oh, so this is niflit gezach. V'hu atzma kibo mehen al pia dibor. And this was the kabel. The Rebbeinu Shalom says kabel, and he v'hu atzma kibo. So he was the one that took these maras and sows, which they were made for the Yetzer Hara, and they were mishtadel to do with their husbands and this and Mamela B'Shas, and that's why Moshe Rabbeinu took it. They brought it to his Getzel, who was outside of the edge of the camp, whatever. So each one was kind of his ishto. This is I don't feel comfortable with this. Ki ha-mishka lo nasa dayin. So that's what the Ramban says. The mishka was not lo nasa dayin. This is right after Yom Kippur, and this was the mishka was not done until the Kodesh Harishon Mishana Shenis. So as he brings down Onkelos, you'll see from this way when you go through the Onkelos is betargum. The Onkelos is betargum that they brought it out. They went to daven. The Onkelos targum the asiyah l'tzalo l'isra mishkan zimna. To this Ra mishkan zimna. They came. That's where they went to the mispalo to daven. The different nuschos in the Rishonim here, but the Rebbeinu Bechaya, but this, what they did exactly, what they went out for. But interessant, so very interesting thing. Zimnim not in the var of the Rabbi Avram, the Ibn Ezra. Sha'amar shahaya noshim ha'ela of this Hashem. Zaktim the Ibn Ezra that these noshim that were bringing the shpigelach whatever, they were of this Hashem. They were unbelievable. There were some people that v'saro mitay v'zeh ha'olam. You hold on to your chair here. They were sorrow mitay v'zeh ha'olam. V'nosnu marasei the dova, and that's why they gave up the shpilach. They gave up the shpilach because they weren't into it anymore. They were not into the olam hasa at all. Ubos b'chol yom v'yom kol pesach ol moed lispalo v'lishma divrei hamitzvos. This is an unbelievable thing.
It's coming and saying that beforehand, when they had the babies and they took on all the time, that they didn't do chas v'chil shma. They had taivas. So they figured out a way.
I have time.
They were such a shantas. The husbands came home. They had a hard day, and they figured out a way. How do we megar the yetzer to get him? That even though he went to court, the only thing he wanted was to go to sleep. Leave me alone. She got him aroused to such a point. It's a chiddush gekad. This is mamish. You tell me isha, this level of the isha.
No. These were.
And now also they've evolved from her. They're not interested in the husband anymore. I gave up all my time in Soil Bazeh. Here, Moshe Rabbeinu, you could be Mishavish with somebody else.
When Avodas Hashem requires to misasik with the Yetzer, they did it. There were noshim tzidkoni. It's not like
the mitzvah was over. Period is over.
Oh, so that's why I'm telling you. Lots of questions you can go around. So they were not. No, but they didn't feel that they had to go be all gepitz.
I'm saying nowadays the husbands were bored enough. They were sitting and learning. So when they came home, they had made us know they had still koiches left. Okay.
I mean, listen, I don't want to get into you with like it's a little too graphic for me, but you for tight shit, like Baruch Hashem, But this is niflitik azak. They mamish, but had the Ibn Ezra. It's unbelievable. The Ibn Ezra says is appealing place. These are all of this Hashem Shleimus, and they came to Moshe, they came to Moshe to daven, to hear mitzvahs. People came to ask shaylos. I guess there was machitza, the place, whatever it was over there, and they wanted to hear the shaylos. They wanted to hear mitzvahs and this and just hear Torah, mavakshim. Nifladik. But that's your problem. It's not all one way or all one here. And Eved Hashem is whatever the Rebbe Hashem wants.
I don't know. You said there was that they became from.
I didn't say Rishantas. Forget. I said there was.
Came here and said they became from and they lost 20
I didn't say became from. I wanted to say that, but I didn't say that. I control myself.
Well, let's read those words again.
I control myself.
Come on, we can read between the lines also.
I didn't say between the lines. You read between the lines, right? I didn't say that. Forget. What? I'm was talking the Asiyah Letzalo L'Sra Mishkan. They came to the Shar of the Mishkan. So he doesn't say it was all Moshe, but that's the Ramban has a Gavaldik Kasha. I mean, this was not until this is he says, and before we brought that out for the Raya.
If it would have been my wife, I would say it over a little differently. I would say that my wife had such enjoyment. Such enjoyment to being able to give HaKadosh Baruch Hu that she was willing to give up this tool. That's like it said that it's got the cheshik for the oil haba. It's what here he's saying here that she lost cheshik for oil mazah.
Listen, Rabbi.
Can we read those words again?
I'm going to read it again, but I'm just telling you, you can't compare. Your wife is like the Lamaila.
Okay.
The Lamaila from all
good,
these.
But we get a little.
This is not
when we want to understand how smart Shlomo HaMelech is. There's only a limit to how much we can understand. We know the smart how much we have, and we can imagine more. A lot more. What's a lot more? Come on, 50, 100, 250. What do I understand? It's above my league, above my pay grade. The little bit that I understand comes from her. What do you want?
It doesn't sound like you're like right on the numbers over there. Anyway, it says okay. Now Tintvar L'Divrei Rabbi Avram Sha'amar Shahaya Hanoshim Ha'ela Ovdus Hashem V'Saru B'Tay V'Zeh Ha'olam. This is what he says. What's also for me? I'm just
what?
The sorrow. They went away.
When?
After when it came out of Mitzrayim. And
maybe they went away before they went out of Mitzrayim. That's why they used it like that also. And that's why it was so close.
It doesn't say that. It could be. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that.
Why are you
don't say? I don't know. To me, it says that they're giving up oil maz. Until now, they did it.
Not giving up. Not giving. They had given up. No. Not. They're now making
this is a chelik of it also.
They were sorrow mitayvus that they had no tayvus. They mamish like v'nosnu marasein the davar ubos b'chol yam v'yam el pesach omoid l'isparlo v'lishmo divrei mitzvahs, and they came just to do mitzvahs and to daven. That do mitzvahs and daven. I know he's going to go crazy with this one, but all right.
Listen, we daven nusach hagrov as a lady coming to daven at shul.
It's not nusach hagrov. This is nusach the grov persuaded because people get they're not to have a kinna from one. It's better to stay home if their wives are going to have a kinna from one to the other. And this the kilkul is a lot worse than
today.
The
all Noshim Tzidkanis, they don't have anymore. Only that they have.
They didn't have DJJ then.
You keep comparing today to back then. Right?
Well, okay, to the time of the Goy, it's only 200 years ago. Don't go back a few thousand years.
Today,
I'm talking about back then.
We'll leave it alone.
I'm not finished. The Chanem and Asher Bo Mehen Tzvo Goldo V'Nesvo Pesach Omoy, because Asher Tzvo is lashon of the Tzvo is it. Lo Seis Maraseim Benidvis Libon. V'Hoy Nechoshes Amaras Nechoshes Kilo V'Memurat V'Yofamod. Right now he's just getting into the quality of the Spiegel of they were so shiny. It was unbelievable shiny. Forget, I saw okay, then he goes and besimcha and it's not for losses but called Marasein. And they brought mamash all the things. I saw one of the Mefarshim, the Rishonim, whatever that said maybe it's the I don't know where I saw it. And then he says that they used it one of the kashas, one of the shilas that Rashi had was why do they make the kina from it?
The kir, right?
The kir and the kana from it, right? The kir. So So Rashi said because it was the Mida Kedeged Mida that used this for the Beisot, that the Shalom also Shalom. And so one of the Rishonim, I think, says the Pshat is that even when Nashim were able to bring korbanos in Mishkan into the Beis Hamikdash, and the Kohanim were the Shluchim, were their Shluchim. So you had to be a Shluch, you had to look at them, and they didn't look at them. They looked into the Kiur, and they saw the reflection, and that way they had a zin, the person who they were doing the avodah for. I was really playing, man. This is niflidik azachen over here. I'll call
That they were allowed to do?
What? That we're allowed to do? Yeah, interesting.
I don't know. Looking, why it's better that way than the other way, looking at them directly. I hear. It always bothered me. I don't know.
It always bothered you. Okay, so you never came up with a teretz for the shvach. All right, so you'll keep working on it. You'll let us know whatever. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'll cope on. But I'm saying it's a very nifli gezag. This is like the common truth, but the Ebenezer and the I think it's the Tanchum says this type of thing, and the Ben Bechaya says it's a very interessant zach. I'll call upon him. I just thought this was, but this is Indian. This is mamish. You want to know why the Gemara? How does he come up with such a? I mean, how do you think of such a thing? When Ruach HaKodesh, whatever. But how did he come up with such a thing? And where was this idea? Was it some kind of psiche? So this was because these were as we said. Okay, all right, very interesting. Anyway, so let's get back to this. Now, let's go back to this pasuk over here. When Moshe Yikach said, "Oh, you asked me. I think you asked. When did this happen?" You asked this kasha.
Yeah, the fall
yes. Yeah. When did this happen? When did Moshe Rabbeinu take his oil outside of the machna? So. Also, Machlokes Rishon, Ban and Rashi. Very say it's the Ban is a bomba kasha, but this on Rashi. Rashi learns over there. I think if we go back there, so we can look. You look at the Rashi. It's over there in Lamed Gimel Zion. This pasuk Moshe Yikach es Olo. Kosev Rashi Hadavar Hazeh Hayim Moshe Noig B'Yom Kippur Ad Shehukam HaMishkan. So Rashi answers the question. Rashi says it happened Mishahukma Mishkan at Yom Kippur. That's when they start with the Nedavos. The Nedavos and until what's Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Now Rosh Chodesh Nisan when they start the Mishkan. So Mamela, that's when it stopped. Moshe Rabbeinu took his oil back into the Machna. Very interesting. Okay. Lo Yosser, and Rashi says that was Dafka until then. Shahari b'Yud Zayin b'Tamuz nishtabru aluchas. So now we get a little cheshbon over here. So with the luchas they were broken on Yud Zayin Tamuz. The Yud Ches Saraf as a egel. So Zokt Rashi wasn't the next day until the next day they were Saraf as a egel. But Dana Chotim, and the Chotim, the 3,000 people that they killed, whatever Hashem alai. So the Yud and b'Yud Tes Olo. So according to Rashi, you can help copy because it's whatever. It's a machlo. Ramban's going to say this. Everything was on Yud Zayin. The Yud Ches Sarf as a ego, but Chatim. Rashi holds they were needing on Yud Ches and Yud Tes. He went back up for the next 40 days. We also Shomar Boim Yom. Never love Alisa Vaboker. Then he had come down sometime, I guess, and the Rebbeinu told him Rosh Chodesh go back up, and that was the last 40 days. There were 3 periods of 40 days that we're dealing with, right? So the first 40 days was when Moshe Rabbeinu got the first luchas. He comes down on Yud Zayin Tammuz and saw what was happening. So he broke the luchas and they downed it according to Rashi. They downed them next day Yud Ches. They were sorry for Se'egel, downed the Sechotim, and Yud Ches he went back up. Okay. The Kabbalah luchas shniyas were also shomem yom acherim. Basar b'tishrei nisratza kodesh baruch hu Yisrael u'masal luchas achronos. That's why. Okay, that's good. We got that. The last 40 days ended from Rosh Chodesh Elul until Asara B'Tishrei. That was on Yom Kippur. Yom Chasanuso. That was the Luchas Shneis. And Mamela, he came down with the Luchas Shneis. Very good. The Yared Hischel Tzavas HaMelechas HaMishkan V'Asur B'Echad B'Nisan. And that was finally put up on Echad B'Nisan. Now this private experience that Moshe Rabbeinu had with the Rebbeinu Shalom ended when it was Hukum HaMishkan. We'll see. We'll talk about that later. But right, but right now, then that's what Rashi says. V'chein das Rebbe Avram shahayu kol zeh acher sheharidas haluchas hashnias. So according to Rashi, and according to Ibn Ezra, all these things were when what happened when was after Yom Kippur. Ve'ein muktim u'mucha b'tayr. Ve'ein anachem be'einai. Sokter Ramban, it can't be. It's not true. Why? Why is it not true? In fact, a bomba kasha here. So he says, Divrei Rabbi Seinu b'chol ha-midrashim she'osa Moshe zeh ba'avor cheta egel. So we just saw, maybe not like that. We saw for the Gemara, not like that a little bit, that from the Gemara in Sanhedrin. But the Zakter Ravan from the Kol Midrashim, she'osa Moshe zeh ba'avor cheta egel, that he took his tent outside of the Machne because of the cheta egel. And they dirish Moshe menuda l'Rav menuda l'Talmud. This was halacha that about that you guys did the ego and you menud the Rebbe to the Rebbeinu Shalom, so you menud the Talmud, and therefore I have to remove myself from the machna. Fine. Ukmoshe his Rashi ani bekas ve'atu bekas im kain mi yakarvam. Rashi Alain bring this. The B'shai in a different nusach, he says that the Rebbeinu Shalom Taina that Moshe and your Getzelт is outside of the machna. I'm not being mashma shechina over here, and somebody said, who's going to be makar Klal Yisrael? V'im hoya hatzosa ol la'achrei Yom Kippur. Hine gam HaKadosh Baruch Hu gam Moshe berotzen hoyu. Please dig kasha, nifli dig kasha. What do you mean? The ritzoi, there was a ritzoi in Yom Kippur. It was a complete ritzoi. So if there's a complete ritzoi, so how do you tell me this is just, according to Rashi, this just started right after Yom Kippur? He took it out and you're calling that a menuda l'Rav, menuda Talmud. And you tell me it's happened after Yom Kippur. After Yom Kippur, there was our ritzui already. There was no menuda anymore. What kind of menuda is it? Bomba kasha. It's a bomba kasha. Avo hanira. So I won't read, but according to the Ramban, you'll see over there, and this is Lamed Gimel Zion. According to the Ramban, what happened was that he disagrees with Rashi and Ibn Ezra and stuff like that. He tells you, you know what? He says the first 40 days, no problem. I'm asking to you. It came down. Moshe Rabbeinu came down on Yud Zion. When he came down on Yud Zion, he broke the luchas and broke the luchas, and they damned him that day. That day they damned him. And what happened was that the Moshe Rabbeinu went the next day, so that was Yud Zion. On Yud Ches they went back up. Moshe Rabbeinu went back up for the intermediary 40 days, but he didn't stay up on Har Sinai. Yeah, this is like this is not like the Cheder. This is the second 40 days according to the Ramban. He came back and forth. He was constantly in the Machna. It wasn't because this was Rashi's problem. When in the world could he take his tent outside of the Machna when he was never in the Machna? He was 40 days. He had Zion. He donned them next day, and then went back up. So when was he had time to have to take a set? And it was there. And then Rosh Chodesh went back up again. Came down for a short to eat lunch, whatever, and went back up again. So what happened? There was no time to take your tent out. This is a massive problem with Rashi.
So there was no, what was the cheshbon of 40 days? It just happened to be 40 days.
It was, so the Ramban says he went up there and he said a short tefillah, and kegolo chasdecho, but he kept coming, maybe he kept up whenever, every day, but he was here in the Machna. So Nifladik, so he was here in the Machna. Yeah, well,
dumb question, but he was going up and down one time. He came down, took his tent.
Because what?
He picked up his tent and took it out.
That's what
according to Ramban. That's according to Ramban. According to Rashi had a problem because there was no time. He wasn't there. He was up.
According to Rashi, he was there the whole time.
40 days. So it's like the first day. 40 days. Every cheder Yingo knows this.
40 days.
40 days. There were three periods of 40 days. First period he had it. He got the luchas shneas, the luchas rishonos. He came down to Zion, went back up for another 40 days, and this, and finally the Rebbeinu should call him back up for the last 40 days, and finally was Paul Ritzoy on Yom Kippur and gave him the luchas shneas. Finished. Right. That's how everybody learns. Zakta, and so according to so Rashi has a problem. So when was this v'yikach his oil? When did he take his oil and put it outside of the machna? It has to be after Yom Kippur. Of das fragt Rabban, but it has to be after Yom Kippur, but after Yom Kippur was a Ritzoy. So out in the world you have a Menul L'Rab, Menul L'Talmud, and this is like a Pili Bloim. So Rashi says that. Rashi says Mefurish that, and the Ramban says no. The Pshat said that more middle 40 days he was constantly in the Machna. Moshe Rabbeinu was there. Ki b'yom ridato b'yud zayin b'tamas saraf ha'ego v'dana ovdov. So the Ramban said, what Rashi said it wasn't until Yud Ches that it was down the Ovdov, is the Ramban says, no, it was all on the same day Yud Zayin when he came down. Next day he says, I'll go back up, I'm going to try to get the Ritzoy. Vashem ona osami asher chotoli viato leik whatever nechayas. This was the whole masamad, but according to the Ramban, he was back in the camp. So back in the camp, so he took his tzalt and he moved it outside. Very nice, beautiful.
And like Rashi, it was the next day, so maybe that day he took the.
One day.
Yeah, but one day there was no day. He was busy making, the dining and making ashes and the cutting up the egel over here and stuff like that. He
was able to go back and forth so quickly. He could do that in a few minutes and then go on.
Yeah.
All right.
Kasha. But I hear, I'm just telling you, there's a brisker Rav says very nice pshat over here. Oh, now you pick up now. Zagonah. This is Torah Sinai.
I just want to know if I'm sure said it over.
I can't tell you. I don't know. But there's a brisker Rav that wants to be told the machlokes between Rashi and the Ramban on what the halacha was. What was the din of the people that were of this egel? So according to Rashi, he wants to say Rashi learned that it was a din of Avodah Zarah mamash, din of Avodah Zarah, and they were mechuyev misa. So, but even though Avodah Zarah is skila, but niri hanidachas is din sayif. Sayif. So Mamela Rav Shara, so and that's one halacha. So they all had a din of ira and dachas, go through the rov, whatever they were ira and dachas, and the pshas by Hilchos Beis then.
For every man there was a lady, and there was Shevet Levi.
Yeah.
So between that they had Roiv Mustama.
Roiv and option.
Who says
you could use ladies for a roiv?
If it was what?
You could use ladies for a roiv?
Yeah.
No.
If they get killed, they can use them for the rov also. But the pshas I don't know. That's a good question. In fact, good. A good kasha, but I think he says the rov.
That was the base under of that.
I think he says that. One second. Yeah. That's Rashi. He says, so you see that there was a din sayif over here. Because din sayif, so it couldn't be avodah zarah because that's skila. So it had to be the pshat that irani dakas behind the sayif el pirusha she'avra al zavech le'elohim yochram hari neschayva skila al korka shehargo asam kedin ir hanidaka shehoyim marubim. I don't know. You're asking a good question. Why is this talk of marubim? You have millions of people here, and okay. V'dina b'sayif. So that's how he's learning. That's how he's learning the Rashi. Shita's Rashi. So Mamela, and there's a halacha by Dini Nefoshes, you need lina. You can't make the din and carry out the judgment the same day. Because you have to hitilu se'edah. So Mamela, Reb Shai said, I had to wait till the next day. The din, a bona fide din of Beis Din. So Mamela, Reb Shai said, that's very neat. According to Rashi, it was Yud Zayin, he came down, broke the luchas, we downed him, let's say, down the next day, and then gave it the over there, they gave the sayif the next day. Masha'en Kain, according to the Ramban, this was a Hurol Shor. There was no din sayif over here. Not a din sayif in terms of Mrs. Beis Din. Mrs. Beis Din, you don't need. So if it wasn't Mrs. Beis Din, it was a real show. So the Zakta B'Skurada, you don't need a lina. You don't need a lina. He did everything in one day. On your time, he killed everybody and stuff like that. Very good. All right. Fek gonet of them.
What?
Yeah, fek gonet of them.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, so that's an interesting zak. So where are we holding? I got veered off a little bit for that. So
Kippur,
so that's the machlokas Rashi and Ramban over here. The pshat, so Rashi. So I was talking with the Ramban's taina. The Ramban has a fantastic taina. Listen, Rashi fret good also. There was no time. According to Shitosa, there was no time to move his. To move the out, there was wasn't a geya really a diamond. According to Ramban, he was in the Machane for the middle 40 days. So
after Yom Kippur already came back,
and it was already a ritzoi. How can you tell me it's Menudul l'Rav and Menudul l'Talmud? So it's a pella, mamish a pella. So I found it here. I found this here. Very good. Alright. Sagt wait, what? No, one second. Okay, 1 second. Alright, so I'll skip. Where he's just repeating the Ramban and the so he's bringing down the Rashi. He says, "Nimse shemiyom ma'isa ego hu yud zayin b'tamu zad b'atzi yom kippur lo motza Moshe's man lasses came." There was no time for him to take his tent outside and to the chutz machna. V'chem uchrochim lo ma sheminig zeh hiskal linug achrei yom kippur. It had to be from Yom Kippur on until Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Min hashar b'minig zeh ad shehukim hamishkan b'Rosh Chodesh Nisan. The Moshe Rabbeinu remained, out on the outskirts there. K'fishi isbar be'ez Hashem b'mkamach. Achrei shehukim hamishkan shuv lo diber hakadosh baruch hu Moshe b'ol lo elo b'toch hamishkan. That's what the Ramban says also. That everybody agrees. But yesh lechem lishol. We can't fragen. What do you mean? Kate said yitochen she'achrei Yom Kippurim. Achrei shenispayas hakadosh baruch hu im Yisrael hoya Moshe magzik olo michutz l'bachar. How can you tell me that the Ramban's guy? It's impossible. How do you tell me it was already a ritzoi over there? The Hari Kishahaya Dayan Hakadosh Baruch Hu Bekas Amalo LaHachzer Ol Imkama. It can't be. The Rebbeinu Shem already told him. Rashi already brought down the Maimer Chazal that if I'm Bekas and you're Bekas, who's going to be Bekar of them? So the Rebbeinu Shem already told him that Tom Moshe and bring the tent back, and when and I'll be in Kas, you'll bring your tent back. Kifi shebiyarna leo ubavadi lo hoya Moshe misakim mikim divrei hakadosh baruch hu. The branch was jump, you jump. The cholos is man actually hukum mishkan. It's not he talking. He told him, and then he waited before. Avol leichem ladas. Shezeh shamar hakadosh baruch hu leMoshe sheyachzer aleim lemachne val yifresh mi beneihem. And who's going to be carved? And you stay there with the people. Lo nischaven lo. Ha ha. This is good. Lo nischaven lo. He wasn't. The Rebbeinu was not talking about his tent. She'achziru lemachne. No. Sheme'achar shekvar haviu el mechutz lemachne eino tzarek lachziru. No, you took your tent outside. You're good. So what do I? The Rebbeinu told him to go back inside to the machne. Shemutev hoyel lishar mechutz lemachne mishum kavod hashchina. Shehaisa bol l'sham l'dabra im Moshe. They saw that the Shekhinah that came and talked and the Moshe's gets out. So the Pshat that was a cover for the Shekhinah. Elo, Zeh Sharmalav v'Shalvel Machane. This is the statement pasuk v'Shalvel Machane. What is it talking about? Hakavana lo atzma. Moshe Ben, you go back into the Machane. You can't stay outside on the outskirts the whole day. No. You have to go back inside the Machane. You have to go show them that
That's what maybe you had to go up and down.
No, now we're not talking up. Now we're not talking up now. We're talking about into the Machane. Into the Machane. V'al yifresh mi b'neihem. Aval oh you shard bim kama. The oh you stays there bleibt chutz the Machane. V'raka oh omad sham at shehukam ha-mishkan. Aval hu asma chazer b'yad achre shitziv lo kodesh baruch hu lasos ken. Nifli the Gezach, it's mamish bella.
The oil is out there, and the pshat is that's where the Eibush
So you could say
is the Eibush is chutz Machane.
Eibush was still late. You have to say it wasn't a complete. There was enough of a ritzui. I don't know, you have to juggle a little bit. It was enough of a ritzui to get to Luchas Shnius, and everything was but it wasn't mamish chazer to the matzah v'tchila. Until which makes sense because the pshat was the Ritza. The Ritza was now I'm going to be mashra shchinosi b'neichem. The Rebbeinu was telling you you're going to make it. I'm giving you a hektimsa before whatever would have been whether it was only luchas rishana, so it would have been also the machlokas rishonim, whether there would have been a mishkan or would not have been a mishkan. But even if there would have been a mishkan, so there was a hashroz shchin in the machne bechlolius and besacham and each year each holds whatever, that's fine, no problem. But now when you're doing the tshuva and the tshuva was miskabel, but the Kabbalah was that now I'm going to be mashma shechina inside the shechina inside the mishkan. But there's no mishkan. I just now gave you the plans and I gave you the mahalach that go build it. This is the way you do it. But once you build it up on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, then I'm coming back. I'll be coming back down. But so what we think is the ritzui gomer on Yom Kippur, according to this, whatever, it was not a ritzui 100%, whatever you want to call it, 93%, 93.25%. And that's how you have to say in Rashi. The Pili Play, but in Iflik, the Vanfrak, the Bambakasha, there, but the Rashi also, the Lishit also, and each was Lishit also, very beautiful. Yes. All right. But anyway, just before, it's come to all the Amazadov that we have. Is like a siyum. This is the Maisa Avos. We had the Maisa Avos Simin Labanim, and the Maisa Avos was Yitziras Ha'olam. Was that we're getting back to our and then we have a Mador Basra from Adarisha. Klai Yisrael is a Mador Basra from Maisa Breishis, and Mamela. This is the siyum of that Maisa Breishis. The Mador Basra is with the Hashraz Shechina, because there are three things that Rebbeinu Shalom wanted or Megala to us. 4 things, because Baruch Hu wants is B'Shvil Torah, B'Shvil Yisrael, and he wants to be Mashra Shechinosu B'Tachtonim. He wants a Dir B'Tachtonim. So he wants to be Meitiv. He wants to be Meitiv. Also, all these things. We had to make this Niskayim with under Vayakhel-Pekudei, and that's how we explained everything going on. It was very nice, so beautiful. We just. The Avos and the Ma'is Avos Simin the bottom, and now we Hashem, we have a Davar Shalom of Yitziras Ha'olam. Very good, the Eibush Dolphin. So Simchas and Achas and the Gula Shleim of Hebron. Amen.
Say that the 92.3% of the Zayf is the soap.
Yeah, great. So I don't know, whatever.
Barrel.
It's hard to put a